Jeremiah Tower. Start the Fire. What a fascinating documentary this was.
Thank you.
I loved it.
Jeremiah was maybe the first celebrity chef. He was the first glamorous chef, the first chef that in America, the customers wanted to see in the dining room. Before that, if you envisioned a chef, it was somebody who looked like Chef Boyardee, some paunchy slob in a dirty coat with a coffee filter on their head and a mustache, sort of obsequious. He was, glamorous, commanding presence. I'm going to try to put this in family-friendly terms, but he was the first chef that people wanted to sleep with. Let's put it that way.
So that's very nice. You really thought about that. Thank
you. He changed the menus, the way we eat, the way restaurants look, the image of the chef, and yet suddenly he disappeared and was then written out of history. And when I read his book, I thought it would be really great and the right thing to do, to tell his story and sort of correct the historical record.
So we're talking about the category of cooking. And
right.
He's talking about some specific chef guy.
Right. That's a good catch.
So yeah, it's like just thinking of the movie with Ray Kroc with Michael Keaton, the McDonald's documentary. And just obsessively, I run after the systems, like how the systems were created. Like, who gives a shit about who was around at that time, or Ray Kroc, or his family? I don't give a shit. And so he's in the cooking industry and writes a book, not about cooking, not about systems, not about the amazingness of the food, but about a particular guy. And the thing with the IPs, if you get to know the four stories, IPs, EJ, EP, IJ.
Yeah.
The story. So what is everybody trying to process, right? So. We're working with an IJ this last week, a painter guy, an INTJ guy.
Right.
And so he's just constantly trying to process the corporate greed all day long.
And it was like the guy at the top that keeps gobbling up all the smaller businesses.
The FISE guy.
Yeah, completely.
So every IJ, especially if you do like IJ Blaster, they're all trying to process the same damn story.
Right.
The same damn story of the lead consume that's taking all the shit, right? In some way, shape, or form. The IP, their blind spot is the tribe. So think if you have a extroverted function as a demon, then you're not playing the ping game. You're not playing, well, I don't know what N on a spectrum is, or S on a spectrum, or T on a spectrum, or F on a... I don't know the spectrum. So the discovery becomes kind of part of the spectrum. Mm-hmm. So if you are a IP, the discovery is not the double observing. It's not the systems. It's not the food. It's not you're awesome. It's they're a tribe member.
Yeah,
I found a tribe member, and I got to know this tribe member outside myself, and then I saw where this tribe member is on a spectrum, and that is what is amazing to all IPs. That's not some of their stories. That's not part of their stories. That's all of their stories.
Which also, one part of what you're saying there is what he's talking about is I related to this one guy because he had this epic story that needed to be told. And people looked up to him, and he was the greatest, and they bowed down to him.
Right.
And then he got left
exalted
behind.
and then exiled.
Yeah, he got exiled, and I needed to be the guy to come back to support this other, IP guy, and put him back on the pedestal. And it's like you'll see that a lot with IPs. They will extreme idolize someone that they relate to, that they want to be more like, or that they see themselves as, and that's something that is a common trait. And the story is, I want to be on the top of the pedestal. I want to be not forgotten for all these amazing things that I've done.
Right. Now, Jimmy Fallon as an INFJ, the typical response when you say, hey, here's a pitch about cooking. I'm an IP. Let me talk about people. And Jimmy Fallon is going to be trying to process the SE. So it's going to have to be something about the experience in the explosions and the wowie zowie.
I never do, and it's fascinating to see. You go, man, he had like one of the hottest restaurants ever. I love it's called Stars too. Yeah. It's very 80s, and I just love it. Star and like neon writing, and every star, like all these, fashion plates, whatever you name it, heads of state, whatever. People would go to this restaurant and go experience this, and they. Someone has a great quote in there. They said like, it's the first time. Normally you go out to dinner, then a movie. This was both dinner and a movie because you realize the dinner itself was the entertainment as well. Like the food was the star of the.
Trying to process the SE experience.
Right. Didn't even once talk about the guy. I mean, kind of ish. It's just tossed in there. But yeah, what is he trying to? What are you trying to process? What like
the wowie zowie experience? Like if you watch me with tools, it's like I won't look at all of the tools. I'll be like, this one Leatherman, that's the one. You're like,
yeah, right.
That's pretty good. Down. But you haven't looked at all the... No, this one is amazing, and that experience, and that thing, and that tool, because it's like, I found my demon for 5 minutes, and it's that one, and I'm done.
Okay, so the thing then with Lita and I is if you're obsessed with your own inner world game thing, whatever you're doing, your box
once
or whatever
you look outside for a second.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my God, the stars and the experience and then the music.
Once you look outside and find something that actually doesn't suck. Because usually with NI, every time you look at the
that's
SC,
what
like,
it is.
let me use SC. Oh, it's shit out there. It's dumb. It doesn't work.
makes
I hate
sense.
it. Or
Because you're not expecting to see positive, because you're like, anything that isn't in my
Right.
box is absolutely stupid, and like the reality is everything outside of your box is way better.
Right.
I gotta tell you,
That's
save
what
your
you
SC
say.
here.
That's what you say. So the IP guys, like every time, once a month when I check the tribe, I just see dumbasses.
Yeah, so
Right?
if I see somebody that's awesome, I'm like,
Write a fucking book on that. I actually found a tribe member who's not a dumbass. And every IP is like, holy shit.
they
That is
exist.
exactly what I'm doing. Yeah. The laugh lines, the eye lines, the smile lines is something if you just pay attention to. If you're, it's more of like a pattern you got to go in reverse. Go look at 20 people that are FE in there somewhere and
Yeah.
look at their facial lines
Yeah.
versus FI and look at their facial lines. Here you go. Here's a face built for smiling.
Yeah, there you go.
Here's an FE for you. Just built for facial expression. What are you talking about? I don't see the pattern. Okay, well, look at a lead FE. I don't even know this lady, but I just lead FE.
Right. Paula Dean.
Sorry, I'm guessing, but oh my god.
That's so much Effie.
Oh,
There you go.
wow. And then
We love Effie. Okay, moving on. So
Drain wave. Drain.
I'd like to welcome you to What's Fucking with Paula Dean. And today I'm making phone calls.
Hi,
Hey, Colton, this is Paula Dean.
thanks.
You're so welcome. Where do you live, Colton?
Colorado.
Hey, Colton, this is Paula Dean. How are you?
I hate you and everybody out there.
Oh, you're so sweet. Okay, baby. Bye-bye.
Bye.